Hey everybody, welcome to VeVe's next community update, and with us today, it's very special. For the first time, we have Ben Rose, our new co-CEO, that has joined us today. How you doing, Ben?
I am good, thank you. So good to be here.
Yeah, it's so great to have you as well. We had our nice video introduction with yourself and Dan and Dave, and that was really great. You had some insights there. We'll dive into some stuff today and have some fun, ask you about a few key questions. And, of course, ask you about your collecting style and all of that. So how's your first week been so far? Just to start off with that.
Hey, look, it's been really, really good. There's just, there are so many cool things happening. We've got so many awesome people. I've been spending time with the whole team all around the world remotely, meeting with everybody just to get to know them and understand what's happening. And so, yeah, it's been pretty special.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know the first video that we did together, your introduction video, that was a lot of fun, eh? How was that, getting together with David and Dan and doing that video, sitting down, and also seeing all the different things that were going on, like in the background with all the collections there? Can you tell us where exactly you were?
Yeah, so we were in New Zealand, and that was part of that was David's personal collectibles collection. So yeah, just spending a bit of time with the guys. It's always pretty special. It's always fun. And yeah, some pretty cool stuff there to geek out on as well, which was awesome.
Yeah, did you see any things that are on your hit list next? I know I did.
There was a hoverboard that I'm pretty keen on, I have to be honest.
Oh yeah, from Back to the Future. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, for sure. There's the one on VeVe, which a lot of people have collected, which is pretty cool. But yeah, talk about maybe your first week or so here. I know you mentioned you've been meeting a lot of the team and everything. Yeah. What's it been like, just the stepping in and like the different departments that you're, touching and talking to, and how's that been, and have you really, found your foothold so far? Or are you still kind of getting things all warmed up?
So what you do when you're a new CEO coming into a business is you just have your ears open and you ask a lot of questions. And, there's a lot of history to this business. We're 7 years old, but in that 7 years, God, we've moved quickly and we've done so much. And so you gotta understand that stuff. You gotta respect the past and make sure that you're really understanding what has and hasn't worked in the past, what's going well, what's not going well, all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, just a lot of questions, a lot of taking notes, a lot of formulating thoughts. With us, we're operating in a space where so much is new, and we really have pioneered over the years. And so there have been things that have worked, there have been things that haven't worked, but it's the most important thing from my point of view now is learning from all of those. And so that's been a real focus. I think something else about, one of the challenges or the risks with being a CEO is that you end up a bit like a mushroom and people keep you in the dark. So when you're the new guy, you get to ask all those questions. You get to say to people, okay, so tell me, what's working? Tell me what's not working. What are the things that you think are absolute secret sauce that are unique to us as an organization, as a platform, as a community, that we should absolutely guard and nurture? And what are the things that from your perspective we could do differently and better? And so I've made a real point, and it's still ongoing, of not just talking to Dave and Dan, not just talking to the senior leaders, but talking to everybody in the business, because we've got some amazing people, and there are people like yourself and Eagle and others are in touch with the community every single day, so they know what's going well, they know what's not going well, they know what we've done well in the past, what we could have done differently, and they know what the community wants to see. So getting a view from them has been really, really valuable. It's looking to me like I'm going to be spending probably 2/3 of my time internally focusing with the team, and a third externally with the community. The take I suppose I've got on it right now is this is a business that has been has been founder led and is full of very passionate people, all of whom want to innovate and do great things for the community. I think we're at the stage as an organization now where we need to start putting in place a bit more process and a bit more structure. Not we don't want to become an IBM, but we need a little bit of that just to help us prioritize and focus. Because one of the clear things that that I've heard in the community, and look, and also full disclosure, I've spent quite a bit of time in the community, just listening and learning over the last, quite 6 to 12 months. I've been in the community, just listening and, hanging in and out in spaces to understand what the challenges are. I think one of the challenges that we have had, and this is not unique to VeVe, right? This is what happens with the vast majority of startups that scale up and get to a point of scale, is we take on lots of things because we're ambitious and we're pioneering. But when the team aren't clear on which are the real focuses, you end up, in some areas over-delivering and in some areas under-delivering. So we know that has been a challenge with things like the VeVeverse in the past. So I want to understand now, what everyone's working on. We're putting together, a really succinct, clear plan so that actually we can be really solid on these are the things that we are going to absolutely nail in the next 12 months, 12 months, 3 years, 5 years. And this is how we're all going to do that. So look, really good people, really passionate people, lots of people with great ideas. I think something that I've been really impressed at has been every single conversation I have had with every single employee in any role, any location of the world, at any part of the business. The community sentiment, feedback, and requests are at the absolute forefront. So this is a really, really, customer-driven, community-driven organization. And that's, as the new guy coming in, that's really, really pleasing because that is exactly where you want to be. So the challenge is how do we, as an organization, how do we get better at delivering and delivery? How do we keep that, that magic and that passion and that energy, and do that in a way that kind of helps, VeVe and the community grow and grow and grow?
For sure. And I've noticed, and I know a lot of people have, they've been connecting with you on like socials right now, and you've been out there talking to people. And of course, we have our research team internally, and of course, there's community managers like myself, and a lot of our community, a lot of our staff actually are out there taking feedback. So that's amazing that you're seeing all of that. And I know that over time, we're going to be addressing a whole bunch of certain issues coming in for sure. Just from our first, introduction video with David and Dan, you gave a good outline of like what you guys are going to be doing together and how you'll be working together. And you're mentioning about the team and everything. Can you just maybe touch on that a little bit more right now, just in this video, just your roles with David and Dan, just so people are like pretty clear on that? I know things are going to obviously move and change, and you guys are going to work together like as best you can, but maybe touch on that just to clarify a little bit more.
Absolutely. So if you think about the history of VeVe, which started off as, Dave and Dan sitting with a laptop and then grew from there. And again, this is not unique to VeVe. This is pretty much every startup that has grown. You start with the founders, and they do everything because that's what you do when you're bootstrapping a business, and it's at the very beginning. You don't have a team of specialists to do different things. You do everything. David and Dan have been, involved in every single aspect of the business. They are the two people who have got this business to this point. And so over those years, they have worked on things that are in their, their natural comfort zone, things like licensors, production, and they've also stretched into areas that, they may not have done as much before. And that's what founders do. And that is, that is the passion and the energy of the founder that creates a business from absolutely nothing and gets it to a point where, we are all here sitting on the shoulders of giants. So that's where the business has been and is at. So the challenge is when you get to a point where we're at now, which is a certain level of scale, is there are only two of them, and they don't have the bandwidth and the capacity and the time in the day to be across every single thing. And so it's not from a lack of wanting to or caring, it's just because they are humans and there are only two of them. And in a business of our scale and size, there's a lot of stuff to do. They have, over the years been focused on, the maturity stage of the business. And they knew that at some point it was going to be the right thing to do to bring in a co-CEO to work with them on that. And that's exactly what they've done. So this has been part of their plan from the very beginning. The question, for a founder and for founders is, when do you do that? Because there are lots of pros and there are cons as well. So there are some risks around it, because one of the things that the founders do better than absolutely anybody is they have that passion and that belief, and they were there from day one. So it's always a big risk. What happens if we bring in a CEO and they're not right and they don't get that and they don't treat treat the role as guardian of the thing that we have built, and that their job is to nurture it. And there have been lots of examples of organizations globally that have done that well and done that badly. You look at Apple with Steve Jobs coming in and out. You look at Amazon with the leadership changes they've had. So it's a big decision for a business to bring someone in. So it's been something they've been thinking about, looking at over the years. They're now at the point where it's important to do. We've had conversations for a long time, because this business matters, and this is important to them, and they wanted to make sure that the person they brought in understood that and got this right and took this seriously and was going to add value rather than the opposite. So the conversations that we have been having around it have been pretty organic and two-way, with working out between us, okay, what is the best mix of founders and CEO for VeVe's success? And where we've got to is kind of what we talked through in the announcement video. So David's strength and the one of the secret sources behind VeVe is the licensor relationships that he has got as a collector himself, and the levels that he works at in those organizations is something that we're very lucky to have, and that's something that we want to absolutely nurture and keep, and we want to enable him to focus on that, because that is where he can add the most value to the community and to the organization. So we want him to focus on that. Dan is he's the brains behind our production. We want him to spend his time focusing on the production and on the platform. And if you look at the quality of the collectibles that we're putting out, they're amazing, and he is the reason behind that. We've got a fantastic team who are putting that together. He is there behind the scenes working with them on big and small details, and that's what we want him to do. If you take those two things, you go, right, okay, well, what's left? What's left to make this a successful business? So you've got running the team, number one. So you've got, making sure that we've got the right people in the right roles doing the right things. We've got to make sure that we are listening to our community, so that what we're working on is what they're wanting, or what they're going to engage in. So prioritizing the work that you do, and then making sure that we've got the right culture. So making sure we've got clear objectives, holding people accountable to those objectives, having that culture of performance. And there's a balance when you're a startup. You have a family culture, and as you start to get bigger, it becomes a bit more corporate. And we don't want to become a corporate. We want to be a high performance organization. We want team members who absolutely love working here, who are really into our mission and what we do. We want people who absolutely buy into being the place where the world collects. And we want people who are going to push the envelope and really, innovate and come up with great ideas and do cool stuff. You have to have, as you get bigger, you have to have a bit of a framework for that. People, need a bit of direction. Okay, what does good look like in my role? What does that mean for me day to day? What are the things that I should focus on? And how, at the end of each quarter, each year, am I going to know that I've absolutely smashed this role? And how does that contribute to what the business does? So that's one thing. So running the team is that. The other piece is communicating out with the community and doing things like we're doing here. I said in the launch video that we absolutely hear that the community wants to hear more from us, and it deserves to, because without the community we don't exist. So that is also going to be a lot of my role. So my focus will be communicating what's happening at the company, telling the community what's coming up, listening to feedback, and that's in forums like this where we're talking and saying here's all the stuff that's happening, but also behind closed doors having meetings and taking feedback the other way as well. Our teams are in touch with the community every single day, and so I'm working very closely with our with our community managers like yourself, with our customer support team, with our research team, and with our data and insights team who do customer panels, to make sure that what the community want and are feeling is at the forefront of what we're doing. So that's my job too.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Thanks for breaking that down for sure. I know you'll get more questions, but I know you're going to be out there as well, which is really amazing, right? Your previous roles, I've always whenever anyone switches, like jobs in their career, and, I can talk about myself specifically, like all the different things I used to do really have led into like this really kind of fun environment, this new kind of career in collecting and digital and everything that we do. Your previous roles, how have they like helped build up to this position that you're in now? And maybe if you can touch a little bit about like why you made a change over here. Is it the passion of collecting? Is it this experience of the new space? Maybe just touch on that a little bit for our fans.
Totally. So all the roles through my career that I've really loved, and I think that I've done the ones where I've done a really good job, are where there's a real business challenge, and there's something to be fixed or something to be grown. And so I love those challenges of when you go, okay, here's a company, it's 7 years old, it's in a multi-billion dollar industry. There are some established players. I mean, we've got the likes of Stanley Gibbons who have been doing this since the 1850s, right? So this industry has existed for centuries. The size of it is phenomenal, and here is a business which has developed, in my opinion, the most amazing IP and the most amazing platform and community, and is poised to do some amazing things and grow into that massive category all around the world. It's a global, completely borderless category. I think that's really exciting. So it was the opportunity to help the team do that. That was the first thing. The second thing was I've been working in the crypto and blockchain world for a few years now. I've been into crypto myself as an individual for 5-6 years. I have kept an eye out over the years on projects doing cool things in the space, and I said this in the leadership video. One of the challenges with blockchain businesses is very often the approach is, right, the answer is blockchain, what's the question? And I think that what VeVe has done is actually said, no, this is about collectors, and what collectors really value is the scarcity and owning one of X number, and what blockchain does is it makes that real. If you go and buy a physical collectible, you kind of have to rely and trust that it is one of X hundred, X thousand. On the blockchain, you don't have to trust; you can verify, and so you've got a technology here that makes that real and completely transforms the collecting experience. Because when I said before that collecting is worth billions of dollars, most of that is physical collecting currently. And so if you collect rare bottles of wine or sneakers or whatever it might be, there's a lot of trust in knowing that it's genuine, knowing the provenance, knowing that it's one of how many, all of that sort of thing. So for me, the fact that VeVe uses blockchain and NFTs to tokenize that's really powerful, because I'm a big believer in the power of NFTs when used right. I think this is one of those great use cases that has real world value. So that's the first one. The other one is I just love how easy it is to access and use VeVe. So we've got there are lots of Web3 projects out there where it's quite fiddly. This is new technology. Bitcoin's only been around for 13 odd years, and so a lot of people in the world, well, it might feel differently when we look on X. A lot of people in the world are not yet comfortable with with custody, with wallets, with seed phrases, with on ramps, with off ramps, and so I love the way that VeVe has set up just the ease of access, that you can just you can pick up a credit card and buy. So I love that accessibility. And then I think the third thing that I think is an amazing secret power for VeVe is the passion of the fans. So fans who absolutely love Spider-Man have loved Spider-Man for years. Fans who absolutely love Back to the Future have been right into it for years. And they've got, collectibles all over their houses. They've got merchandise, all that kind of thing. Well, here is another way for them to, engage in those brands that they absolutely love and care about and are passionate about. the fact that it's brought to them by VeVe is almost incidental at the very beginning, and so I think that's an incredible thing to have a platform which potentially could appeal to fans of any IP. That's something pretty powerful with a huge potential.
Yeah, for sure. You talked about just the size of the collectible industry, around the world, engulfing everything. I mean, look at behind you, right? We can see right behind you some of the great stuff. I mean,
I've spent most of the value of collecting I've spent. So,
oh yeah. So like the growth potential, you see it as a really big space to start off with this company as well, and
totally.
100%.
I mean, look at where we are now as an organization. So the IPs that we have, and there's over 200 of them, right? We've got some of the world's biggest and best known brands, and we've got some amazing independent artists and publishers, and so what a great platform to start with. I mean, no one's got that breadth. But if I said in the video, don't treat this as year 7, treat this as day 1. Think about how many other things people collect out there, right? Beyond pop art. Think about artworks. Think about memorabilia. Think about sports, whatever it might be. There are so many things that people are really, really into, and we're talking big ticket items as well. They're vehicle collectors, like I said before, wine collectors, stamps. There is just so many things that bug and that passion for collecting can get you into. But all of those, absolutely all of those, can be tokenized and can be collected digitally. And so what that means is, that several $100 billion industry, it's about to get disrupted, and it's about to get disrupted by us.
Yeah, it's amazing, 100%. No, I want to talk a little bit about just some community questions. We're going to get a lot. I know you're going to address them over time as we move along here for sure. But one of the biggest topics that people have brought up and are really, excited about and waiting for is the VeVeverse, right? And so what are your thoughts about where the VeVeverse is at to this point? We haven't heard a lot about it. I know the community's been asking for quite a long time. Just your initial thoughts about where we are at right now, and if you could shed some light on maybe the development of that going forward, or maybe what the plan might be for talking about the VeVeverse as we move along.
Yeah, look, I absolutely can. So first of all, I want to say to the fan, it has been slower than it should have been, and we feel the frustration and we hear it, and we are addressing it. So that's the first point to make. So look, when I was talking to David and Dan about this role, about the organization, that was the first topic I wanted to discuss with them. I wanted to see it. I wanted to understand it. I wanted to know what was happening, because it's a very real, commitment that we've made. It's also one of the most exciting things that we are going to do. So let's get on to that next. But look, so I can tell you absolutely where we're at right now. So I said to you before that a large part of my role as CEO, as co-CEO, is helping the teams prioritize and focus on what are the things that we are going to do and deliver. VeVeverse is absolutely at the top of that list. So you will have seen and you will see us releasing functionality across the broader platform, new IPs. We've announced some things recently. We're going to announce some more at New York Comic Con, and we're going to announce some more after that. So dropping functionality is an important thing that we will be doing. When I say dropping, I mean releasing. With the VeVeverse, I can confirm that we're in testing. My avatar is set up. It's ready. I've been in there this morning. We are working on tweaks to it. So I won't give you a timeline because, frankly, that's a mistake that we have made in the past. But I will tell you, we will be delivering it in the short-term future. And that's kind of all I can say. And look, I want to also share a bit of an insight inside the business for the fam around the VeVeverse. So first of all, I want to be really clear that our founders and our team are focused on delivering what the fam want. There is no other reason people get up every single day to come into work at VeVe than to deliver functionality and IP and experiences that our users want. with the VeVeverse, we probably shouldn't have committed the timeline we did, because, you know, there are learning processes for all businesses, and we learned some stuff going through that. We're a wiser, smarter business now. What we will do in future when we're talking about functionality is we'll share and be transparent with the community about functionality, but what we won't do is we won't underpromise. We won't overpromise and underdeliver. So yeah, we will be delivering the VeVeverse. We will be launching it. It has to be right. We're working on it. We have our teams working on it right now, and it's a priority. And we hear the frustration. And from me to you, you know, hands up, we should have delivered it more quickly. And so we're focusing on it.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And I know you mentioned it. You've had a chance to see it. It's pretty amazing, right? I think that's what people
my
mostly
avatar
see.
is a lot better looking than me, so yeah, pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, well, we look forward to that for sure. And I know that you know, this is the early days of you here. This is amazing to hear, and I know our fans will be really happy to hear that as well. Just another
just before we carry on, and what I am also committing to do in the very short term is we're gonna share some visuals and give you a behind the scenes into kind of how things are looking at the moment. And so Dan and I will be talking you through some of the features from within the VeVeverse. And so yeah, keep your eyes posted for that.
One of the other biggest questions that we get all the time is about the utility of our VeVe NFTs and where we're heading in the future. Can you speak on, you know, where we're heading in that direction? More ways to use our VeVe NFTs, more options for the future. Just your thoughts on where VeVe is headed when it comes to utility.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, look, utility is an absolute key focus for us, and so that is why, you know, you have seen and you will see the announcements around those sorts of things. The VeVeverse is a big part of that, because, you know, that allows you to interact with others, that allows you to showcase, and, you know, and do a number of other things which we will talk about. So, I think what we need to do is we need to focus on first of all. This is about collectibles. So let's be really clear. This is a platform where you collect and you buy collectibles that you're into. What you then do with those, that's what we're focusing on growing. First step with the VeVeverse. Long-term plans, yes, we've got other plans, but I think one of the challenges and opportunities with Web3 is it moves so quickly, and so, you know, functionality emerges that we hadn't even thought of. And so our roadmap, we've got a short-term roadmap, and that's what we're focusing on right now. There is also a longer-term roadmap, but that's a little bit more fluid because the technology changes quite significantly, and also what consumers want changes quite significantly. So yeah, look, right now, you will have seen the announcement about the integration with the team over at Stacker. That's exciting. That's fantastic. That's taken a lot of work from them, and we're really pleased about the integration. The testing seems to be going well. So, you know, we'll be keeping an eye on that, and you know, the idea is once that test is successful, that will be expanded. We've spoken about the VeVeverse, also looking at some new IPs, and the functionality of the collectibles dependent on the IP is also something else. So you know that we've got the ability to have movement and sound. We've already got collectibles. You know, you think about the DeLoreans that you can drive around. We've got collectibles that have music attached. So, you know, we're always thinking about the functionality and what you can do with the collectibles, apart from just displaying them.
So, hey, switching gears a little bit, I know you're a collector, you know, IRL, just like I am as well, just like David and Dan and so much of our community. And you did touch on a little bit of that, you know, in the intro video, which was cool. But you got some great stuff. I want to know, like, what maybe is your favorite collectible you have right now, IRL, or if you have some stuff you want to show off, just to the fam. You know, it's always fun to show some stuff.
So, luckily you prepared me for this because I kind of love them all. But my absolute favorite. So I mentioned in the leadership announcement, I'm a big fan of Sesame Street. I've always loved it. And my favorite character is Bert. When I was a little kid, I had a cuddly Bert, had a few of them, and I've always been a big fan of Bert. So for me, so this would be my favorite collectible. So yeah, so there are. I've got a few Berts in my life. This is my favorite right now that I display. But I do have that cuddly Bert back from gone about 35 years ago.
Oh wow, you still got it.
Totally, yeah. A little bit worse for wear, but he's kept safely. So I love the OG Sesame Street Funkos. I've almost got the complete set, and I've got a few to come. In fact, I'm quite keen on the Snuffleupagus. I'll have the team having an eye out for that in New York.
Is that Bert one like really hard to find?
Yeah, well, in New Zealand it's quite challenging to find it. I found there was one guy who had one, and so there was one guy, and so I got that.
Yeah, part of the fun of finding collectibles is to hunt sometimes, right? Going out there. Sometimes you can just go online and buy something maybe on eBay or whatever, but I love to find stuff like,
100%.
Yeah, the hunt is always part of the best part about it.
That's
yeah,
right.
For me...
Actually, there is one more thing.
Okay, go ahead. This is what we want to see.
So this is a one-of-one collectible, which was a Father's Day present from one of my daughters, and so this is with my Sesame Street. So yeah, I mean, apologies to the IP hold licenses for the the representation, but she did her best.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Yeah. Those ones are the ones that mean the most. 100%. You can't put a value on that one.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer here. I know we'll be talking to you obviously as time goes on a lot. Maybe just jump back into VeVe for a second here before we go. I really want to get your thoughts again, and I know the community does, just about the growth potential here. Again, I think that's really cool for people to know, and specifically about new users. This is one thing that we're trying to open up a little bit more, and I know that we've had a big bull run in the past. We had tons of, and so new user acquisition is a big deal for you. I know that. Maybe speak on what we're planning for that.
So I'll talk about more broadly the future for us. So our heart as a business is pop culture and digital collectibles, and we've expanded into comics very recently, and so I think we've learned a lot through that about what the community want, how they engage with it, how to build those products, how to work with licensors, how to position them, and so we will be looking at continuing with those, adding the IPs in our existing areas as well, but also adding some more verticals. So we've done some cool stuff over the last few years in music, in artworks, and others. So those are areas that we're going to be looking to expand into. There are others too. If you look at our user base all around the world, we're particularly strong in some countries and less so in others. So we're also going to be taking a look at, geographically, how do we start to grow and build as well? So what are the IPs, what are the licenses that the fans are really into in other parts of the world that we might not have yet, but we can certainly go and speak to and start to expand into. So we've got some real growth plans in terms of the verticals that we offer, as well as the markets that we serve. So that's the first piece. Second of all, user acquisition. So users are the absolute lifeblood of our business. So that's why we're here, and so we can judge the success of our business by the number of daily active users. That's the metric we use internally. That's what we look at. And so the marketing team and I are focusing on exactly how we build that. How do we make sure that more people know about digital collecting, number one, and when they know about digital collecting, we want them to know about VeVe. So there are lots of collectors out there talking about collecting. There are interesting things happening in collecting. There are lots of fandoms, of course, out there who have their own forums and their own places to get together, their own events offline, their own places to get together online. We're going to be expanding into those. So we're going to be investing in our marketing to make sure that our proposition, our brand, our point of view is more visible, is more out there, is in front of more people, so that we can make sure that they know that we actually already have the IPs that they're into. They just might not have thought about collecting it in a digital way. So we're going to tell them about why that's a great idea. And then with those who might not have thought about, who might not have thought about collecting at all. We're going to go out and talk to those passionate fans about, hey, there's a great way, really accessible way for you to get into collecting, and it's through VeVe. So yeah, you'll see us doing a lot more stuff all around the world, and the marketing team and I are working on the plans for that right now.
Yeah, that's great for sure. We have New York City Comic-Con coming up, of course, right when this video was filmed. It's just around the corner. I know there's a lot of people that are obviously passionate about collecting at New York City Comic-Con and all these conventions. So our booth there is going to be pretty. Have you talked to the staff about the setup for New York City Comic-Con and just your thoughts about how that's going to go down? I know that it's going to be a big event. I know we have an amazing bunch of plans that we haven't quite announced yet. But are you at the forefront of that as well? Just discussing what we're doing. Yeah,
totally. So look, first of all, I have to say I won't be there because look, someone's got to run the shop, right? But Dave and Dan and the team absolutely will be. So New York Comic Con. I mean, it's the premier event for fans, right? We're really excited about being there, and we had a great time as well in San Diego at D23. So New York Comic Con, that's a really big deal for us, and so we're going all out. We've got a big booth, we've got a big stand, 3327, and we'll be announcing some drops. We've got some signings. We've got some very cool stuff happening there. We've got a party that we're having, so we're gonna be meeting the fam in person. Got some special guests. It's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, it's a lot of work, for our team, and it should be. We've been working towards this for a long time before I came, right? So that's why I'm not going, because the team that have been working on it and planning, they're the ones who are going. But yeah, look, we're really excited about it. It's really important to us, and as a digital brand, as a digital platform, these in real life opportunities to meet the fam, they really matter to us as much as they do to our users.
Now, we do have as well some unseen footage from your introduction video where you and David were talking specifically about New York City Comic-Con. We're going to roll that right at the end of this video as soon as we're done, so stay tuned, everybody, for that. It's going to be awesome. We cover a lot of really cool stuff. Just before we go, I want to thank you once again for coming on the channel here, the VeVe channel. I know we'll have more updates as time goes on. Is there any last things you want to just let the community know about just before we let you go and get back to work? Because I know you're super busy.
Hey, look, no, I want to thank everyone for the welcome. I was really touched by a lot of the messages I received, a lot of the posts, a lot of the retweets and the comments. And so, yeah, look, I just want to say thanks for the welcome. And look, I'm here to do the community justice. I've said to you, I'm going to be open, I'm going to be transparent. This is the beginning of that. And so, any thoughts, any feedback, we'd love to hear them. Share them with Aaron, with Mycollectables. Share them with our customer support team. We're here for you, and looking forward to doing more cool stuff with you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ben. We'll definitely talk to you again in the future. Hope you guys have a great day. And like he said, if you have feedback for the team, you can go on Discord. You can message me directly. Also, Eagle, our other community manager, on Discord as well, and through our feedback on our websites. All sorts of ways to give feedback. Thank you so much, Ben Rose. We'll talk to you again in the future.
So, David, we've got a huge event coming up in New York. Tell me what's going to happen. All right. So, VeVe is returning to the Javits Center at stand 3327 on the 17th. To the 20th at New York Comic Con.
Okay, so stand 3327 New York Comic Con.
Yes.
Okay, so if our fans come and see us there, what are they going to find?
Well, this year, for the very first time, we are releasing exclusive show-only collectibles.
Okay. So just give us a bit of an insight. What are we going to see?
All right. So we are announcing a brand new partnership in the digital program, and we also have our famous exclusive Comic-Con exclusive comic cover, and can't spoil who's going to be the artist this time.
So there are going to be some signings, are there?
Yes, there will be signings. We've got artists coming across as well, so please do check it out.
Awesome. And this year, we're doing something pretty special for the gold and silver logo holders, right?
Yeah, for the very first time, gold and silver holders is going to be entitled to not just one, not two, but 3 physical redemptions, and also up to 2 VeVe collectible, maybe 3. I have to check it out. How's that?
Awesome. So look, this is a big deal for for our users, for us. Tell me why New York Comic Con is so important to us. Why we're looking forward to it so much.
Yeah, the New York Comic Con is one of the best melting pot for comic and collectible lovers. It's where all the superhero has seen. Spider-Man, you probably know him from the city of New York. You got the Gotham City, Batman. We just love it. The energy of our fans is exciting. People travel all around the world, and I was entitled to see some of the feedback and how many people coming over from our VeVe community. So I'm very excited. We are running a party as well. If you don't know about it, it's going to be on the 17th, on the Thursday night. Many of you would have got a redemption to craft with your MCP reward points. And very shortly, we will be sending you out the RSVP. So please make sure you RSVP for your slot. And there's multiple locations of other fans meetup. And quite exciting this year, Ben, is that for the very first time, we are giving a gift presenting to all the level 100.
Amazing. Can we get you to open up the box and see what's in there?
I can't. It's pretty heavy though. It's very exclusive. I'm pretty sure it's going to go crazy. But people are going to be posting what's in this box.
Amazing.
When they get it.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, hot off the back of San Diego and D23, we're going to be in New York. Come and meet the team. Come and meet Dave. Come and meet Dan. Come and meet the rest of the team. Meet some artists. Redeem some fidgetals. Have a chat to the team. We would love to see you there. Stand 3327. Can't wait to see you.